We're at the National Speakers Association Conference in Orlando, Florida, and I'm here with Larry Chiang, the author of What They Don't Teach You in Business School. Good afternoon, Larry.
Isn't that a scandalous title?
That's great. So tell us tell us about this scandalous book.
Well, the most scandalous thing I think, or at least I've been critiqued, which not even very much, is I never went to business school.
So you don't even know what they taught at Stanford, let alone what's not in there, huh? Or I guess you'd know a lot more about what's not in there. That's the point.
Well, that is a point, and also the other point is most people think that there's a mystery to what is taught there, and that's nearly open source, meaning the same way that computer code is open source, meaning you can beg, borrow, and steal from it. Learning and knowing what they teach you is not a secret. In fact, they openly publish their agenda. You can go to the bookstore and buy those books. You can rent those books. You can just get a library card. I know that's outdated. A lot of the case studies are free online. That's what makes Stanford so awesome, and that's the purpose of my first chapter, which is you're damned if you do go to business school, and you're damned if you don't go to business school.
Now, doesn't entire MIT, including Sloan, totally open source all of their curriculum?
That's a great point. That's absolutely a great point. In fact, if you are a prisoner, you can learn and get a law degree or the equivalent thereof in prison without ever having to go to class. But chapter 14 of my book is actually you want to go and get admitted to Stanford or Harvard or MIT, for example, but then the first thing you want to do is redact. And when you drop out of a really good school, they call it redacting. When you drop out of my school, they call it dropping out.
Okay, so what's the advantage of redacting or dropping out of Harvard? You become Bill Gates?
There's two things that you get when you go to business school. One is the degree and the knowledge, or basically the knowledge. The other thing that people say is that you get the network.
Well, yeah, that's what it's all about. It's certainly at Harvard, don't you think?
Yeah, but the thing that I teach in chapter 4 of my book is you can get the network without ever having gone to Harvard by using these tips, strategies, techniques, and ideas on how to build that network of Stanford. In fact, I know personally more Stanford GSB grads than your average GSB person times 2.
Wow, that's a big statement, because I know that I lived in Los Altos right next to Stanford. My son was born in Stanford Hospital, and networking is a very big part of Stanford and Harvard and all the Ivy League.
It's huge. And actually, I made the transition from crashing Stanford to now hosting things at Stanford. I'm on the board of advisors for Stanford Student Enterprise Labs, which is Stanford's first business accelerator, completely run by undergrads. I help out with BASIS, which is Business Association Student Entrepreneur Society, Stanford Women in Business. And if the last time you checked, I'm neither Stanford nor women or barely in business, right? So I'm 0 for 3 there. In addition to the Stanford Daily, I went from crasher to VIP, which is also what I talk about in chapter 4 of the book, is you want to crash parties. You can quote me on that. You want to crash parties, but do so in a value-added way, in a way that the host gets value, where my +1 might be you next time, Brett, or next time just in a method and a manner that adds value to the community that you're trying to infiltrate.
Excellent. Now, at the National Speakers Association, you had a presentation on social media. Tell us a little bit about some highlights of what you think is going on. What are the changes you see in social media today and in marketing in general, and what are the opportunities being created by those?
Interesting. I don't love social media, and one of the taglines is I think that a person should do social media in under 20 minutes a week. I know, kind of outlandish. The way that you do that is you avoid major social networks. Like, you pick one to avoid, and you just don't work that same social network, and you always look to your business model, because I love lead generation. And the way to hack social media, especially for this audience, and I'm guessing a lot of audiences, create awesome events in the real world and have other people do your social media for you. Because if you're in a situation where you're tweeting, hey, this is awesome, it's tough. Whereas if you host a real-world event, show a person ROI, they will tweet and retweet you. And there's a couple systems, too, that I look to hack into that are all real-world ticket-based.
And those would be?
Well, one, I love being put on the spot. One is the rebate model. I love the rebate model. That's patented, Larry Chiang Incorporated, not to be reused. Actually, that's not true. Copy all of my stuff. Copy my book. In fact, if you copy my book, I'll pay you. Is that scandalous?
That would, yeah.
So I love the rebate model, and the rebate model is this.
Okay.
If you buy my book, okay, I will rebate you the money if you email me back one thing. Not this last book that's already out. I'm talking about pre-sales. There's a way to hack pre-sales, meaning if my book comes out 11/11/11 and you buy it 1 year out, I'll give you all your money back if you send me one thing that you learned from the book.
Okay.
So I'm juicing it with content. Also, the rebate model also works for workshops. So let's say you're in a workshop and you're selling 100 tickets. The first 50 tickets I sell for $0. But it's not $0. I sell it for $65. But if you show up, I give you your $65 back. The last 50 tickets I sell for $75. So if you look at the Eventbrite, there's two sets of tickets. One at $65, which, that's the early bird. And then the late bird, which everybody buys their tickets late last minute, is $75. Now, if I'm buying the $75 ticket, I don't feel that ripped off.
Yeah, $10 difference.
Exactly. And remember, if it's a Larry Chiang run workshop, okay, nobody wants to come.
So now it's a $75 difference you've created.
Exactly. And like the people who are at 65, what is it, the greater full theory or the first in philo? First in FIFO? That way, I'm now giving it to you for $0. Okay, you'll show up. And this is also another hack is if you don't come, okay, and want your money back, you can blog about it. Or if you want your money back right away instead of waiting to show up, blog about it. Once you blog about it, I'll give you 100% of your money back.
Excellent. Great tips.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Larry.
Oh, thanks for asking and being interested and doing this.
And I know I came in, I think, about 1 minute late to get that free $40 Starbucks card. So I'll look to come next time.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.